It may surprise some people to know that I recorded When Love Dies immediately after Zombies, even though I didn't release it until almost a year later. I really felt like the Lord had told me that my life was going to get real busy, really busy, and that I just needed to keep recording. But I wanted to make sure I recorded something that didn't sound anything like Zombies. So I recorded a very, very synthesizer-heavy record with When Love Dies, and all the effects on it were done with the Casio, and I think it's my most dreary record. I've always thought that. I always called it the dreary record, but I also think it's, well, to be honest, I think it's my most beautiful, I got the Jesus part right out of the way on the first song, The Answer, which originally was called The Answer to the Darkness, but The Answer read better on the cover. And The Answer is probably the preachiest song I've ever done about Christians who think they're living the life that they're not. And I've always felt very convicted when I sing the song, like, because I think I'm the person in the song. I think I'm the culprit, and I'm really not half as judgmental as that song makes me sound. I'm really looking in the mirror and singing to myself. But I love the song. My gosh, it's like minutes after minutes of me just saying the name of the Lord. The second song on the record I wrote when I was 15, when my former girlfriend Marcia committed suicide, and I actually sang it the day of her funeral, after her funeral, for my friends. We were at a friend's house and I played it on the piano and sang it, and when I was working on When Love Dies, I found Marcia's brother on the internet, and we reconnected, and he said, you know, I've always been mad at you because you said you wrote a song for my sister, but you never sent it to me. So I went in the studio and I was just going to record it for him, but I decided to record it for the record. So When Love Dies quickly became a concept record about what happens when the various forms in our of love in our life gets destroyed or mangled or bruised or hurt or killed. And yeah, it was very, very painful recording I'm Sorry. That was originally called Burgundy, which was a name that she wished was her name, but for the record it ended up being called I'm Sorry, and I am. Very hard song to record, very hard song to perform. I still perform it. I'm putting it on my next record that I'm recording, OK Sex, because I think it's really important to keep that story alive. And instead of writing a new song about suicide, I really want to keep that one alive as a dedication to someone I really cared for. And the third song on the record, 52 Churches, was written by Chuck Freeman, and Chuck is probably the only person in gospel history that I can relate to musically. His songs had balls of steel, and when I heard the song I couldn't believe it. It was about all the churches sprouting up around where he lived, but no one was nice. No one was nice to him, and Chuck died shortly after I recorded the song, but I had the good fortune of him contacting me after he heard it, and just blessing me with his catalog, saying I could do any of his songs whenever I wanted, and that while he didn't personally relate to my style of music or think that I sang it half as good as him, he felt that I was doing an important work for God, that I was doing exactly what I should, and he said he was honored that that I included a song in it. And 52 Churches was one of the 2 songs on the record that started the industrial background noise concept that would later infuse Leading Horses and Burn in Hell and Love Me Forever. And 52 Churches was really one of the first, the first cover song I recorded, other than the traditional Negro spirituals that I've done. I really wanted When Love Dies to have its own feel, the whole record. Every record I've given it nicknames. I called Not Unclean my David Bowie record, and I called Zombies my Zappa, and Does God Sleep was my Patti Smith record. And let's see, Real Man was my Lou Reed record, and Zombies was my Captain Beefheart record, and When Love Dies I called my Traffic record. Traffic's one of my favorite bands of all time, and Low Spark of High Heeled Boys is like my favorite song of all time, and I even used part of it on Freddie's Dead. And I really wanted this to have a... Where are we? We picked a really dreary spot. We want to like pan around and show where we filmed. Look here, look. This is where I sleep. Wait, I think there's, wait, over here. There's part of my lunch. My lunch is over here. But I had eggs. Alright, I'll go back to my spot and behave. Yep. I'm not even gonna look up. Oh my gosh, what am I gonna find? Oh my gosh. There's a dog looking out the window from the car at me right now, just shaking his head in disgust. Traffic's one of my favorite bands. They were like this hippie jazz fusion rock experimental stoner band from the 70s, and their music was exquisite. Everything was beautiful, and I loved what was happening in the 70s. You had people who played flute in rock bands, Jethro Tull and Hart, and this record was my homage to that. And it's very heavy on orchestration, very heavy on repetition, and every song moves really slow. And I know some people like came to me and said, I like the record, like at first, like I like each song at first, but they're too long. And I said, yeah, this isn't a punk rock record. And when I did Zombies, when I did the song Zombies especially, I said, I'm done with it. I'm done with the punk rock thing. I'm done with the 3-chord rock thing. It doesn't mean I don't love it anymore. It's just I've done it to death, and you know, I'm going to put out another 30 records, and I had to find a new musical voice, and finding that with the 70s classical rock feel was great. The record's slow, every song is a ballad in its own way, and really happy with When Love Dies. I do think it's dreary though. Did I mention that? It seems dreary, but it's all, there's a lot of sad songs on it, and I'm grateful that I was able to pay homage to Chuck Freeman. I'm grateful that I'm able to pay homage to Carly Simon, but we'll get to that later. Are we